Hello, we are live. Hello, welcome to this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Thank you so much for joining us live on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget to also go find us on the Twitter and the Instagram and go check out our website, hollywoodmatrimony.com.
Yay.
Yay! All right.
Why is this not catching? Thank you.
All right. Guess what? We're live. I'm going to go share it right now because that's what you're supposed to do.
That's what I was doing already.
Share. Write a post. Come watch our show. Post. I'm done. Okay. All right. Let's talk. We're talking about movies.
Go ahead. Talk about something.
All right. So where should we start? We have a good variety of things. We always have a wide variety of rando things.
Rambo.
Rando.
Oh.
All right. I'm gonna just go in this order. So, you want to start with this one and tell me what the heck that's about?
Okay. I guess I have to go first, even though I wasn't quite ready for anything yet.
Well, I can skip to something else.
Well, I think
let's go here.
You sure?
Is that okay? You want to go there? Want to go there?
I don't care. I'll just not post this other thing.
No, post.
No,
whatever you're
fine.
posting.
It's okay.
Okay.
Nobody watches anyway. It doesn't matter.
It matters.
All right. So what do you want to talk about?
I wanted you to talk about this movie. I'm excited.
Are you excited?
Yeah, because it has one of your favorite people in it.
Mine or yours?
Yours.
Because you like the other one.
I know.
All right.
It's very exciting.
So the first one I'm going to talk about, she didn't get to watch yet because she took too long and I couldn't wait on her anymore. It was a movie called Castle Falls. It is a old school martial arts or just straight up action flick starring the always awesome Scott Adkins, as well as Dolph Lundgren, who also directed the film.
Oh, wow.
He's directed a ton of films, but he hasn't directed any in a while.
I see.
This was kind of his return to directing. The movie, basically, it's kind of like Die Hard in a rundown hospital. Oh. So basically, the premise is you have technically three characters. You have the villain character, you have the Dolph Lundgren character, Scott Adkins character.
Okay.
Scott Adkins is an ex-MMA fighter who can't get a fight anymore. He's kind of down on his luck, trying to find his way, trying to make some money, blah, blah, blah. Dolph Lundgren's character's got a daughter who's dying of cancer. She needs some kind of a kidney transplant or a lung or some kind of transplant.
She needs something.
She needs something transplanted, and he can't afford, the insurance won't cover it, so he's down on his luck. He's also a prison guard, or the head of the prison guards. So Scott Adkins gets a job working in construction, and they're demolishing this hospital, Castle Falls Hospital.
Right.
And while he's in there, he finds a gigantic bag of money. Well, Dolph Lundgren finds out about the same bag of money from an inmate because he wants to be protected from the guy trying to kill him who he stole it from, who is the brother of the other villain that's part of this story.
Oh, so everyone's probably looking for this money. I gotcha.
But nobody knows the other people are looking for the money. So it kind of actually plays off more like that movie Trespass with Ice Cube and Ice-T and
where they're all in that high-rise building.
Yes, and somebody finds money, and then they're all
trying to find it.
Bill Paxton and William Sadler find the money, but the money belongs to they end up killing somebody. But then the Ice Cube and Ice-T are trying. Anyway, it's kind of the same idea, but with karate action.
Oh, that's even better. That's better.
It's actually it gave me a vibe of like an old school action movie. I could see this with like a Van Damme in it. Or even Dolph Lundgren when he was younger, I could see him playing this Scott Adkins type character. So it's kind of neat to see him because he does fight some in the movie, but his age is starting to show a little bit in the way he moves.
How she move? How she move?
Yeah, how she move.
Well, yeah, because like when that one scene at the end of Creed or whatever when he's running,
you can tell he's probably got some
knee. That good.
He probably either has a knee or he's in great shape still, but he probably has a knee or a hip issue. But yeah, you can see it when he kind of has this limp kind of movement. But there's a small fight between him and Scott Adkins, which I was excited. I wanted to see that. It's not as much as I was hoping for. Lundgren's not spin kicking and stuff anymore like he was in I Come in Peace and some of these other movies back in the day. Showdown in Little Tokyo and that kind of stuff. But he still brings the pain. Still can shoot him up with the best of them. Scott Adkins isn't as dynamic in this movie, but it's not necessary. He's more of an MMA style, so it's all more brutal fights. But it's a fine movie. It's not breaking down the barriers of the action genre, but it's another fun one if you like any of the actors. You like just an old school, just simple action flick with a vibe you've seen in a lot of other movies as well.
There you go.
Castle Fall is the one from you, and it's done by Shout Studios.
Which
is the studio of Shout
Factory.
Yes.
Nice. Oh, I get something to shout about.
So it is available now on demand, and I think in limited release in theaters.
Okay, cool. All right, next, where do we want to go?
You want me to go ahead and talk about the other dumb one I watched that one to get out of the way? Or do you want me to come back to it?
We'll come back. I want to go. Let's go.
This one's probably the oldest.
This one, yeah, because it's been a while. We're a little bit behind on this one.
Well, here I want to set this up a little bit. What's kind of cool is because of my new status, I guess you want to call it, recognition as a member of the Dallas Film Critics Association, I'm now getting the FYC screeners, which is the For Your Consideration
That's pretty cool.
For awards time of the year.
Award season's coming, my friend.
We have studios sending me like every movie that they put out in that year.
Like the stack of films.
Blu-ray that I didn't know about. It's not stuff like normal. The way the process works, if you don't know, a lot of times I get a press release and then I ask for stuff, or they say, "Hey, would you be interested in this?" This is a new animal for me because I just have stuff showing up in the mail. I didn't know what I was supposed to do with it. Then I realized they just want me to watch them to vote in whatever voting thing I'm going to do. And so now we're getting more.
And it's interesting that we've seen maybe about half.
Like some of them, yeah. Some of the more independent things and the foreign stuff we haven't seen as many of. But now once we get the big list of, say, like the Golden Globes or the Oscars come out, we can just go watch those movies.
Yeah,
that we have them.
Yeah, that we need.
But I've also been getting screening links for your consideration of stuff, or some stuff that's not out yet, some stuff that's come and gone. And so that's where this new movie that we're talking about first, this movie that's been in theaters for a little while now, but we really wanted to see it. We kept missing out on it.
Kept trying to go, and it feel like we made a plan, and then it didn't. I don't know.
So anyway, but they finally, it was added to my list. I was excited. It's for The Last Night in Soho.
Yes.
Which is directed by Edgar Wright, which, you know what he directed?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
What?
He directed Shaun of the Dead.
Oh,
he directed
that guy.
Baby Driver.
Okay, baby.
He directed the End of the World, and not the End of the World. The one at the bar. What is the At World's End?
Okay.
All the Simon Pegg. Nick
I
Frost,
got
they
you.
did a bunch of that stuff together. Anyway, so this is his latest movie with Anya Taylor-Joy and Thomasin somebody. Anyway, what are you doing over there?
You're somebody and somebody.
Why are you typing that? It says it in the review.
I know, but I like to go here too. I like to do both.
Oh,
you need to calm the heck down.
Yeah, you have to click there on the because it's not on the front page right now.
Okay.
So it's not really. I'm assuming it's still in theaters, but it is on. We decided to go ahead and do it because they don't have a Blu-ray release yet, but it is on digital on demand now.
Oh, so okay. So you can go find it.
Yeah, you can do it. I think it might still be in the Premier access level, so it's like $20 to rent it. But if you don't feel like going,
it's okay.
If you have 4 or 5 people at your house and don't want to go to the theater, $20 is
charge them a few bucks.
Yeah, and then it's about the same as you pay the theater.
Be like, hey, come over.
So we watched it.
I don't think you can do that.
We watched it in the Blakey Matinee Theater here at home. So it was one of those. To me, I wasn't sure really. Like you get a vibe of what's going on, but you don't really know what's going on.
Trailers make you believe something about the guy.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the old guy, like you see in the poster, like, oh, it's this guy.
But also the tone of the movie.
But there's a lot going on. Yeah, because it's very 60s, but I think it's modern. And then for a while, I wasn't sure what time period we're in until the girl had on her Beats headphones. I'm like, okay, we're in present day. Yeah. I get it now.
She had an iPhone or something.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I know where we're at.
And there's also this thing that it's hard to tell. Is it a possession thing? Is it a time travel thing? Is it a supernatural thing?
Yeah, it kind of tells you.
And it has a lot of those elements.
In a way.
It's kind of all of those and none of those at the same time.
But then you also wonder if she's just cray-cray.
Yes.
Because there's mention made that her mother was mentally ill, and the grandmother's worried that this child is the same.
Yeah. So
there's that happening.
The simple version story of the film is it's a girl who wants to be a fashion designer. She's had obviously personal life issues.
Yes.
And so she moves to London
to go to school.
To fashion school. And of course there she meets all the bully girls and the guy that's kind of
because she's a small town girl.
Yeah.
And everybody else is fancy.
It's all of this stuff is the normal kind of cliched stuff you see in these kind of stories.
Right.
And that's kind of where it almost lost me.
Oh, at the very beginning?
I ended up loving the movie. But that first setup just seemed to take a long time and nothing was happening. And I was like, it was all stuff like, okay, you can tell this girl's gonna be a bitch. Oh, this guy's gonna like her. It was very by the
book here.
And it was like, Edgar Wright, you're better than this.
But wait,
it does take a nice twist, and then it goes in a very interesting path. What did you think of it?
I really enjoyed this movie. I wasn't sure what to expect. I'd been waiting for so long. Then it was one of those things where, like, did I hype it up too much that I'm going to be disappointed? I wasn't. I really enjoyed it.
I did too.
And it was a very clever story. It's very good storytelling because I think you kind of figure some things out, but not exactly the way you think. So it was smart. And one of the things I really liked throughout was the music because we are in the 60s, and so many great singers.
You were gonna support this
wonderful
movie, just the music right away.
And costumes. The costumes are beautiful. The dresses that what's her name? The chess girl. What was that show?
Anya
Taylor-Joy from the chess series.
From New Mutants.
Oh, okay. That's not what I would know her from.
I know, she's Valkyrie in New Mutants.
Okay,
You're thinking of the... Oh, no, I just...
That Netflix series that everybody was so hyped up on
I could have told you the name until you said it. Now I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, she's really good in this movie,
Handmaid's Chess.
She's just really good in this movie.
She is.
And I wasn't sure if we were going to get a lot of her or if we were going to get a lot of the other girl. Like I was.
The other girl actually carries the movie.
She did.
What is it? Thomasin McKenzie?
Thomasin McKenzie.
Yeah, she's really the star of the movie.
She's really good and cute. Yeah. And then this guy, I kept thinking he was the other dude. I don't know why.
Matt Smith from Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Who did you think he was again? I forgot.
I thought he was the rat guy. The skinny rat guy. I don't know.
The rap guy?
Rat
guy. From what?
The scary movie with the skinny rat guy.
Oh, that goes way back. First of all, his name's Willard. And there's Ben. But you're thinking of Crispin Glover.
Crispin
Glover's an old person now.
Is he?
Well, I mean, that movie was years ago. I mean, he's not like
How do you spell Crispin Glover?
Crispin, I believe. Crispin.
I'm going to find it. Is he?
They don't even look alike.
I don't know. He was tall and skinny. That's all I had. Oh, you're correct. Never mind.
I know I'm correct. It's Matt Smith.
Matt Smith, Doctor Who. Anywho, Doctor Who. I don't know anything about Doctor Who. Sorry, I'm not one of the.
Kind of going on what you were saying about the costuming and the music. The entire movie is very stylized. Mm-hmm. It's got a film noir to it while still being modern.
Yes,
and the use of the very old school use of the neon lights and that kind of thing not only create an ambiance and a vibe to the world, but also the tone of what's happening.
And I think it's interesting. I feel like this could have only happened in London.
Yeah,
because London itself, the land mass is so small and it's so old that buildings get returned into new buildings, but it's still the original building and it just gets recut.
Yeah, it's not like here if you close down a McDonald's and turn it into a Red Lobster, they changed the building.
Correct. And we have so much land and space to just keep building and building, and there they don't. So they just repurpose old things.
It was a Red Lobster. Anyway.
Although
I do find it funny, we did have a Red Lobster here that was open for years and years and years and years that is now a funeral home.
Yeah. So
it's weird when
like
you go
London.
It's weird going to I remember having to go to a funeral to that place. I remember sitting here and goes, there's a lobster tank right here. I remember when I was a kid.
Oh my gosh. No, but I'm just telling you, London was the perfect space for this because in her going back in time or however it's working, I don't want to give it away.
Well, I'm pretty sure Edgar Wright's English anyway, so it kind of works out.
It just works because you see these landmarks that used to be something else, it's now something different.
Which then makes you think
is she going cray-cray? Are we cray-cray somebody? Or what's really happening? I thought it was genius.
I was kind of surprised. And I think you did as well. We both kind of figured out the big twist early on.
Kinda.
But
it was clever.
It was the twist we thought it was with a little different change.
Because there was
but it didn't affect how the outcome came as far as like entertainment.
Well, and there was but at the end I'm like, oh, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, it does take a turn.
I was like,
it takes a turn I didn't expect.
Okay then.
Yeah, it does take a little bit of a dark turn.
Yeah, but I liked it. I really liked it. It was very clever.
It's one of those. Do you think this is one that could easily be not liked? If people just can't.
Yes.
Not so much the concept, because it's not hard to follow, but you have to get there.
Well, you have to believe in the reality of what's happening. And
well, I mean, I'm not even talking about that. I'm saying like, because there's, once you buy into the fact that there's kind of mental or supernatural or whatever element you want to classify it until you find out what's really happening.
Yeah.
I know people can buy into that, but it's so, there's a lot of time that it's very slow.
Correct, because we're trying to learn the story, because we're
that's
learning the story in the past when we're learning the story of this girl in the present. So there is some story, but it's actually very intriguing and clever.
It's actually not as deep a story as you might think.
No, it's just,
but it's heavy.
It's heavy
at times.
Now, there's a movie later on that we're going to talk about that also goes back and forth. It's way more confusing, which I was not expecting that.
Are you talking about from last night?
Yes.
Okay, we can't talk about that today, but yeah.
Oh, shoot. Well, we'll mention
it's on the list. You put the list together, fool.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that next week. I'll mention it when we go through what's coming out. But no, I think it's I liked it. I don't see what would be off-putting. I don't know.
It's just one of those, I think my thought process is it's a little out there. And so if you're not somebody who is willing to just kind of let the movie happen.
But I think, too, if you put yourself in the mindset of London, like old.
Well, again.
That could happen.
Well,
that makes total sense in that part of the world.
I know. I'm just saying, I think this is one of those movies that's kind of
You just have to go with it.
You have to go with it, buy into what's happening, and let the strangeness become the norm for that movie. Or you can easily be like,
this is dumb.
Because,
yeah, I get you.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I really loved it. I thought it was great.
I'm absolutely in agreement with everything.
I really want to see the behind the scenes on how they shot some of it.
Yeah,
there's some of the duel that you see in the trailer where seeing each other in the mirror. I can assume that they probably had them stand on the other side, or did they do
like it's just
like a double
glass.
Shoot? Did they just have them stand in two separate places? Like
sort of a
there's one part where like a dance sequence, which is pretty. You can tell how they shot that, but it'd just be clever to see it happening.
How they cut it.
But anyway,
because they're having to mirror each other in the mirror, but then they don't. So it's like, oh. It's interesting. It's intriguing. I
think the one that gets me the most of them I could figure out kind of how they do, and this other one I probably still could, but there's like the walk down the stairs part.
That was
because
really
the mirror is not a straight mirror; it's kind of these angles.
That's where I'm wondering if she's actually just standing on the other side of glass.
Yeah, and like walking down together, and it's
but it
doesn't look like a glass thing in the way it's set up. But they can also embellish it with CGI, so who knows?
Well, or they could have treated it with the thing like an anti-glare to be able to shoot straight.
So you don't know.
I don't know. It's very clever. That's what I just keep saying clever, but it is. And London itself is creepy, and some of these buildings are creepy, and I don't want to spoil anything, but
this is a hard movie to talk about because there's so many different little things that happen.
Because when that one lady's like, well, of course, it's an old building. And I'm like, eh.
But it's one of those that's, I think it's familiar and original at the same time.
Yeah, it's really good. So I'm glad we finally
really
got
enjoyed
to see
it. I wouldn't be surprised if it falls around in some of the award category things for something.
And that old guy was cool.
Which guy?
The old man in the...
Terrence Stamp?
Yes. He's a little
Terrence
creepy.
Stamp is always good, though.
But good.
Chancellor Valorum, General Zod. He's always good.
He was good. Anyways, you need to check out Last Night in Soho.
It's in theaters. I believe it's still in theaters.
Queen's Gambit. Thank you.
Who had to tell us that? It was Patrick, I'm sure.
Thank you. I had a McLobster at McDonald's in Maine. That's awesome.
I've never watched Queen's Gambit, so I don't know.
You didn't? It was so good. That's what I like about McDonald's, speaking of, because they have their unique items in the menus everywhere you go. Like when we were at the one in Bangkok, they had a squid burger. It's not
called a McSquid, but it's...
When there's a burger and little tentacle things are hanging out, that's not okay. But I can understand McLobster.
And they put eggs on everything.
That's so good.
Anyway, I believe it's still in theaters, but it is on Premier Access on demand. So you like I said, it's like $20. I don't have a Blu-ray release yet, so be on the lookout because I'm sure I'll post it once we know.
All right, now tell me about this movie.
Okay, so there's been many iterations of the Monkey King legend. It is a Asian folklore.
This is for real.
Yeah,
I'm bringing it back to reality.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's not real. It's like folk legend.
Then that means
Monkey King, who's like a mischievous demon, if you will, but he's a monkey.
I got you.
There's also there's a pig, and there's another one. I think some kind of a aqua creature. I don't remember all of them, but anyway, there's been a bunch of live action movies of this. Like Donnie Yen's played the Monkey King like 2 or 3 times. There, I think Jet Li is
Jet
played
Li,
him once.
I remember one.
Then there's
and he was very mischievous. I'm remembering this.
The Monkey King's always mischievous.
Okay.
And there's a series of Monkey King movies. I think there's 3 of them where Donnie Yen was in the first movie, but then somebody else took over the role for the next 2. Which is funny though, the guy that took over the Monkey King role is in the first movie as a totally different character, but because he's on the prosthetics, it doesn't matter. So anyway, I always thought I love all the Monkey King stuff. It's very over the top and kind of stupid at times. It almost feels like
makes it fun.
Well, a lot of those old movies, they're like the wushu martial arts epic kind of period piece things, but they also feel almost like they have kind of a kid movie Power Ranger vibe to them because of the pig people and all that kind of stuff. But I always thought this was something that was really good for animation, that screamed animated film. And I don't know if they ever made one before this, but there's a new movie coming out from Welgo USA called The Monkey King Reborn. Cool. So obviously it made me immediately try to find if there another one.
Right.
Because they don't always release these in order, especially when you get into these Asian films. I'll get one and they change the names when they come to America.
That's the
and then you find out this is the 3rd one in a series. But I didn't find anything. It does look animated style. It looks like it's part of the Fin Sheng universe that I've talked about before, which is Nizza.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah, I remember. Anyway, we talked about it on the show. It looks really good. It looks
like it's part of that universe, but it's not.
Oh.
And which bummed me out because I'm like, this would be so awesome if they all kind of merge them together, because there's supposed to be a 3rd movie in that series at least.
Yeah.
In the fiction universe. And the second one, it's not jujitsu, but anyway, whatever it's called, I'll have to look it up. Had a tease thing and then it connected it to the Neza. So this one, when it ended, had a tease thing happen. I'm like, oh, is it really happening? And then it was something else completely. I'm like, man. But anyway, so if you've seen either of those movies, this one feels like it's in the same veins, almost the same animation style, same look. It's bright, it's vibrant, it's fun. There's a lot of action in it. It's silly at times, obviously. It kind of hits all those things that is the Monkey King. If you're annoyed by the Monkey King movies, if you've ever watched them, you might not be annoyed by this as much because it's animation.
Yeah.
In live action, it does come off very stupid and silly.
It's silly.
But it's a fun movie. Welgo USA put it out. It's beautiful to look at.
That's all that matters.
There's a little puffy donut-looking creature that pees on his head and farts.
What? Oh.
It's like an acorn creature. That's what it is. It gets born hanging from a tree, and then it's like some little blob, and it's sitting on his head, and it pees on him at one point, and then farts on him, and it's a whole weird thing. Anyway, but check it out. It's a fun movie. It's kind of a throwaway review for this one because it is what it is.
Okay.
The Monkey King Reborn. It looks like they're trying to set up stuff from maybe more with that one, or I don't know. But it'll be available this week from Welgo USA. And you can find all the other Monkey King movies out there somewhere.
All right, then.
I think, if I remember correctly, this was like a massive hit in Asia.
Oh, I'm sure it is because it's their thing.
Yeah, the Monkey King thing is a big thing, but I heard this one was a pretty big, massive thing.
I believe it. Okay, I'm going here.
All right. Okay, this next one's one I've been really excited to watch for a long time.
Here's the crazy thing. Your parents are like, y'all need to watch this movie about werewolves.
I've been wanting to watch it, kept missing it.
I was like, how did your parents see this before? Like, your parents who don't even watch movies.
I kept wanting to get a screening link. I never got the link. I forgot to tell you, I finally got a link from one of the people with all their For Your Consideration movies,
Thank
right?
You.
This was in that.
Thank you.
But we never got around. We were busy and never got to watch it. So it's been sitting there.
Oh, my God.
And then all of a sudden, somebody sent me a copy of it. I'm like, I can watch those easier. I don't have to be in front of my computer.
Correct.
And so I kept waiting, but I had to review it. So I finally sat down to watch it. It's a movie called Werewolves Within, which is a horror comedy of sorts. Mm-hmm. And it stars the girl. What is she?
The AT&T girl.
It stars the AT&T girl.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure she has a name.
I know, but I don't know her name. But that's just what I know her.
Well, we're gonna find out.
It's got a great little cast in it. And then I passed it on to you to watch because I wanted to watch. Yes. I thought you'd have a good time with it. I love all things werewolf, so I was already in. But you had some funniness to it. I mean, even better chance. But when you add comedy to horror, you got a 50-50 shot of it going horribly downhill.
Yeah, it could go bad.
So this movie's about a ranger that comes into a small town, and shenanigans happen.
Correct.
Pretty much
basically.
it. So what did you, before I say what I thought of the whole thing, what did you think of this movie? Because you knew nothing.
I thought it was a lot of fun. I like werewolves, so yeah. I'm in. It was a lot of fun. I mean, it was a more lighthearted kind of mystery werewolf movie instead of a horror werewolf movie.
It's like Clue meets werewolves.
Correct. It's a whodunit with werewolves.
Yeah. And the tagline to it is a whodunit with bite or with teeth or something like that.
Oh, okay. I didn't even realize that. So the AT&T girl's name is Milana Van Trub. So
and she is so good in this movie.
She's good.
Her and Sam Richardson, who are the two main leads, essentially.
So good.
They have the best banter.
They do. Everybody does. And everybody in this cast is a character.
Yes.
And it becomes one of those where they're in the house, very much Clue, like, well, you had motive, you had this.
Yes.
And the funniest thing, I don't want to give anything else away, but the funniest thing is like, well, who's packing? And everybody pulls out a gun. And this one lady's like, oh, I forgot. And it's like this little guy, like everyone in this whole building has a gun. So it's like, oh, great. Because
it's like in this mountain region or something.
Yeah, they're up in the middle of nowhere. It feels like Alaska or something.
Harvey Gillian, is that how you say his name right there?
How would you say
Guillen. Mm-hmm. Those of you that are fans of What We Do in the Shadows, he's one of the main stars of that show too.
Oh, okay.
He's a familiar. He's hilarious in that show.
So funny.
You think he's funny in this? He wasn't nothing compared to how he is in What We Do in the Shadows. He's the familiar one of the werewolves.
The vampires. The vampires.
Yeah, so he's in it. So
this lady, who's one of the moms from Unicorn.
Yeah, which got canceled.
Michaela Watkins.
She's always funny too.
So funny because it starts off with her little dog Chewy or whatever has been killed, and that's what starts our mystery. Okay.
So it's the opening of the film alone. Once the two main leads, the ranger and the male lady, meet.
Male person.
They have an entire sequence. It's really a genius writing and setup for the entire movie, where she's walking into the town and walking him through the town and introducing him to the cast of characters.
They are all characters.
And they're all really genius, funny interactions.
So bizarre.
And you realize you're like, okay, we're in for a fun movie.
We are in a crazy town.
So the first half of the movie is all kind of comedy and fun and lighthearted and let's meet everybody and get to know everybody. Then once you get into the house and things start going down, it becomes kind of a dark comedy whodunit. And then there's some nice twist where you think one thing is happening, but it's not.
Yeah, and then you start to question, like, is this even, like, are these just a bunch of crazy people?
Yeah, then you start, I'm about to get irritated, like, are there even werewolves in this movie?
Yeah, I was just like, what?
So you have to wait till the end to find out if there are or they're not. But it works so well that no matter what the outcome is, you won't care.
Yeah.
Because it's such a fun movie.
I think the best thing about this movie is that your parents actually sat down and watched an entire movie. They really liked it, and they were recommending it.
Yeah,
So that tells you it's a good movie.
We were somewhere. My parents were
at
like,
their house.
Were we at the house? I thought
they were having that
we were
garage
going
sale.
somewhere.
No, they were having that garage sale. No, we were there sitting.
Yeah, my mom's like, we watched some movie about werewolves, and it was these people are stupid and whatever. And I'm like, she goes, something werewolves inside the house, whatever. I'm like, did you watch Werewolves Within? She goes, yeah. I'm like, how did you see that? And they paid for it on pay-per-view.
They do pay-per-view.
And she goes, it was funny. And I'm like, or actually, my mom's description of it's funny is it was ridiculous.
That means it was funny.
She had a good time.
And your dad's like, yeah, it was pretty good. That means it was good.
This is my dad super excited about something. That's not bad. Now, this is my dad ecstatic. He just won $1 million. All right. That's awesome.
Pretty much the level of your dad.
With a little more hillbilly slang.
Oh, man. So it's good. If your parents actually sat through a whole... These are not movie people. But they bought...
My mom also likes the movie Slither.
Oh, does she?
Me and her watched it in a hotel. We had gone to... she drove with me to that belt test.
Oh, okay.
I think you were with us, too.
I was with you, yeah.
But you went to bed. And so me and my mom stayed up late and rented Slither on pay-per-view.
Well, and that's when we stopped at that... One of the... presidential libraries, right?
I don't know.
Was it that trip?
No, I don't think so.
Bluebell?
I don't think so because this was just in Austin. But anyway, we were
road tripping.
I was watching Slither, and my mom will still tell. If you ask her about Slither, there's a scene in the movie where no, not Slither, Splinter. Excuse me,
Splinter.
Not the Nathan Fillion movie. Splinter. There's a scene in the movie where the crazy people they're like the people are hiding inside this convenience store, and there's a person that's trying to get in, and they're like all jacked up and they're all possessed or whatever is happening to them, and they just keep banging their head on the glass. And it goes on for a lot of the movie. Like, you still hear it in the background when other things.
My
and my mom is like, why will she not stop banging her head? Has she not understand they're not letting her in? And she goes, well, it'll be jump a little bit ahead of the movie. They're talking. She goes, can you hear her there? She's still doing it. How is she not unconscious? And she's asking me, so like if I bring the movie Splinter up, she goes, oh my God, that lady banging her head.
Oh my god.
It's like this much of the movie, and
that's what she remembered. Anyways, oh my gosh. You need to check out the movie Werewolves Within. It is hilarious.
It's available now on the Blu-ray and DVD, and it's really fun.
It's fun.
Whether you're a werewolf fan or not, it's not a scary movie. There's a little bit of blood. But
it's Clue.
It's fun. It's ridiculous. It is a little gory at times, but
not over the top.
Not like slasher flick level gory. And it's fun to kind of figure out what's going on. And if you just like AT&T,
there you go.
She's really funny in it too.
All right, we want to go here or here?
Whatever you want to do, because we got that one too.
I know. Oh, you want to go there?
Other one? Oh,
yeah, I did.
Care. Whatever you want to go.
Let's go here. I did a double poster because I couldn't decide which one I liked more, and I thought they were both interesting. So
the next one is
movie.
Is another movie that I didn't know much about, other than Riz Ahmed was in it, and I'm a fan of his.
We're in.
Huh?
I said if he's there, we're in.
Oh, obviously I got to know him more from Rogue One, but he was also phenomenal in Sound of Metal, and so I was kind of on the fence. I'm like, I don't even know what this is, and then I read about it. I'm like, it seems interesting, but it's essentially a story of an ex-soldier who believes there's an alien invasion.
He's trying to save his family.
So he tries to save his kids.
That's what you need.
That's what the movie's about. There's so much more to this movie than that.
It is.
And that's the thing that might lose some people. Because I've seen some reviews that have issues that one half of the movie is this, and then it takes a twist to this, and they didn't like that it wasn't dealing with what it said, and they didn't think it really handled the other, which I found it just the opposite. I thought it was a very interesting way to deal with a very real situation and a very.
Can we say where he's been?
He was in prison.
Okay.
For hitting an officer or something.
Okay, so I think we need to understand, because this relates to something we just said earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the military, then he was in prison,
and he was in war. Correct. At some point. So if you deal with them, there's a level of PTSD or drama, or trauma, or connected to the outside world.
And
issues,
then he was in prison, which we were watching Wonder Years, and it's interesting that we had the thought that people who've come out of military for a long tour of service, or people who've come out of the prison for a long time, they both experienced problems reassimilating into normal,
and a lot of them want to go back
day-to-day functions. Yes, so I think you need to understand where he's coming from. This guy's
both,
and he's both.
Yeah.
Okay, and he is just trying to save his kids from the aliens. And I found
this movie, if you haven't seen the movie Bug, it's very similar in tone on one aspect of the alien infestation, whatever they're doing in that movie. It has some of that element where you don't know what's real and what's not.
Correct.
It's not the same story by any means.
But I did
this was more of a road trip movie.
I like some of the weird makeuping thing where you can see the bugs
going through the bodies and stuff.
The critters. The critters and creatures.
Here in Texas, we call them the critters.
Faces and things, and you can see they specifically show bugs or wasps and things everywhere. And I was like, oh my gosh, the aliens are coming.
Yeah, the opening of the movie is nothing but close-ups of different
amoebas and stuff.
Amoebas, wasps, praying mantises,
and one taking over the other, and so. He tells us it's not necessarily an alien, but it was I
think it said a
aggressive microorganism invasion where it's taking over. So then this takes over this animal, and then the bird takes over the thing, and the thing takes over the bird. So that whole chain of life thing.
Yeah.
And then as we eat it, I guess we consume it.
And as you watch it, you don't know.
Dang, this is scary.
You don't know what's in his head, what's real. then you see things, you're like, oh crap, this really is happening.
But then, I mean, if you think of something like a venom that comes to the planet, it's possible.
Symbiote, like venom.
Yeah, like a microorganism could come and take over the planet, and we would never know until who knows when. Anywho, so that's just one layer of the story. Then I think we're dealing with his trauma or the PTSD, trying to really assimilate to the real world, trying to save his children who he hasn't seen in a few years, and really trying to build that bond. So it's kind of like a father-son road trip in a weird way, also in another level. And then there's another level where he's dealing with racism of like this cop and that whole racist thing where the cop's gonna shoot him or whatever. So I mean, it's just so many levels of things that are happening. I'm like, oh my gosh, where's this story going? It is a little stressful to me.
I assumed it probably. It isn't overly exciting. I will tell you that it's not an action movie. It's not a movie where there's ever a big payoff of this big final shootouts. Or there are a couple of those elements. There's a couple of aggressive fights, shooting and things like this, and like you mentioned, some of the alienish. Parasite, whatever situations that are
Parasite. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
But it's more of a dialogue heavy movie, emotional movie.
It's very emotional.
It's deep. It's sad. It's dark. There's some funny elements, but overall, it's a heavy movie. Way heavier than what I thought we were walking into.
Me too. I didn't know. I had no idea what we were even watching. Like you started it, and I'm like, I told the dog, I don't even know what we're watching. It is also a movie
that I think some people will walk away from well before it's over. Because it is very slow at times. It's one that if you're not willing to stay with it, then you're going to bail because you're going to be like, is anything going to ever happen? But and even like I've read some of the reviews too that yes, I review movies and I read reviews. I read reviews too where, like I said, they really loved the first half. Mm-hmm. When it started getting to the big payoff, they really were disappointed in where it went.
Bless you.
And to them, it kind of ruin the rest of the movie for them, where I had the opposite effect. I thought it was an interesting angle, and there's even a final shot, or not really a final, but one of the main shots at the end that's kind of, it's a clever shot that matches everything we've led up to, that almost kind of encapsulates everything he's thinking and doing and making it real, even though it is and isn't, and it's this whole weird vibe all done in one shot.
And I think too, really, it's about him trying to build this relationship with his kids, and the kids are trying to figure out what's going on too. And you see, like, one's kind of there and the other isn't, and then the other is, and this one isn't, and it goes back and forth. And those little boys,
the youngest kid is annoying.
I know, but the bigger kid,
both kids were good in the film. Good. Yeah, they were both good in the film, but that little boy was annoying. The smallest one.
I know, Bobby.
Yes,
his name's Bobby.
He annoyed me to no end. But at the same time,
it was like kid.
He acted like a little shithead kid.
I know.
That would probably do these same things to annoy you.
Correct.
And I'm like there's a scene that's kind of irrelevant, sort of, but he's like holding his little action figure out the window going, like it's flying. And it's like, if you drop it, we're not going back. So he drops it on purpose. I'm like, haha. And then, of course, he's all like, well, I won't. And oh my God, kids would do that. I would have backed up and rode over his toy and then kept going. I would have gone back for it, picked it up, put it in front of the tire, drove over, and it kept going.
Wow.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyways, it's interesting. I thought it was an interesting movie. It did remind me of the other. It was good. I wouldn't watch it again because
it's one of those.
I think once you know,
it's not going to work after that.
And then even you kind of know, and then you don't really know. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. I agree with you. It is a one-time watcher.
Yeah, but he's good in it. He's always good.
So good in it. He's kind of. Did you know he was a rap guy at one point?
He was.
That's
interesting.
He was a rap person first, if I remember correctly.
Anywho, Encounter, it comes to...
It's in limited release.
In the theater. And then it's coming to Prime Video, I believe.
Yeah, it's in limited release in theaters now. And then it's on December 10th.
Yeah, this weekend.
It's going to be in Prime Video. So normally we would have talked about it next week, but I thought since it's in theaters, if you want to get out and get a chance to check it out, you can. If not, you can wait till next week. Yeah, and we have some other Prime Video stuff to talk about next week. So decided we put this one on this week.
All right. Next,
which one
we're going to go. Do you want to go here?
Whatever you want to
here? Here or here?
I don't care.
Let's go to the cheese.
Gonna go polar opposite?
Yeah, let's just go completely different. Left turn.
All right. So the next one, I was really excited for this one. I like animated stuff. But
This is so cute.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid was a big staple in our house.
It's been a thing in our
but
house,
but not
forever.
in the way you might think. We started buying my son the books. I'm assuming there was probably 2 or 3 books out by the time we started buying it from him. For him, he's maybe read half of the first book. He's a grown person with a child now. He still gets a Wimpy Kid book every Christmas if one comes out.
We buy it every time.
And he knows it. When I hand it to him, he goes, "Oh, what could this be?" So he has the entire set of the Wimpy Kid books. He loved the movies.
Yeah, those movies were. That little kid was cute.
And I forgot there was 4 movies.
I've only seen 2, I think.
Yeah, there was apparently 3 with the original cast. I thought there were 3 movies, but I thought it was 2 in a different cast. Apparently there was a 3rd movie with the original cast, and then they changed cast.
Oh, yeah.
But again, much like the Monkey King stuff, this one I always thought would have been way better as an animated film.
Guess what?
And it is now.
We got an animated film.
It was kind of up in the air. People were wondering what was going to happen because this was another one of those. It was a Fox property, and it was acquired by Disney. But they made an animated feature, but it's only an hour long. So it's like old school animated features.
So you can watch it with your kids. They will not lose interest because this is a fun movie.
It is, and it's exclusively on Disney Plus. And what they've done is they made it an hour long. The one movie is the first book.
Yes, which is
so now fun. They could do 14, 15, however many specials, how many books there are now of just each book. And I would be happy to have a whole series of them.
Yeah.
Because it's that fun. The animation looks beautiful.
I just like it's like new school old cheese.
That's right.
It's like the cheese touch. Oh, that's so funny.
So I was excited for this, and I was not disappointed. It packs a lot into that hour.
It does. It's actually a really fun movie. Like, I'm not a child, but it is so cute. Oh my gosh, this is the cutest movie ever. And of course, you have to learn a lesson about friendship and the cheese. So it's such a cute movie.
If you've never seen any of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid stuff, or you don't know, haven't read any of the books, and you have no idea what we're talking about the cheese is worth the whole movie.
That's all. But that's what the whole movie's
like,
about.
Because we've had ongoing jokes about the cheese with the kids and stuff when they were little, and
the cheese
and
touch.
Growing up, and this year I may throw a piece of cheese at one of them.
Oh my gosh! But of course you will.
It's the animation style is one, like the character design works for the sticks, black and white stick figure style that he draws in. He doesn't draw stick figures, but Jeff Kinney's book, the way he does it is unique, but it wasn't one that I would have immediately thought would have worked well in 3-dimension.
No, but it does. It's real cute.
It also looks similar to the world of Captain Underpants.
Yes,
which I love as well. I'm sorry,
childish.
But yeah, the movie's fun. It's hilarious.
You should buy the books, watch the movie.
That's right.
It will be fun. It's so fun.
And who is your favorite character?
Fregley.
You want to see my secret freckle?
Hello, Gregory.
Greg Hefferly.
But he calls him Gregory.
That's right. He's the weird kid across the street. And it's just funny because he's always like, "You want to see my secret freckle? You want to have a tickle fight?"
No. And then something about his booger.
Yeah, he writes him a letter opening.
He's the boogie kid.
I'm sorry that I ate your candy bar and chased you with my booger. I can watch this all stuff about Fregley.
Lord, he's weird.
Fregley and Raleigh are awesome. Zoo-wee Mama. Check it out on Disney Plus now.
There you go. It's available now. All right. This is our last movie. Here we go. Did we save the best for last?
About to find out.
All right.
I'll let you say. This is kind of a you thing.
This is me. Okay, I am a fan of the Resident Evil movie series. I know nothing about the video game. Let me tell you that now. But this new movie is Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. And it is specifically based more
I believe it's on the first 2 video games.
The video games than the others.
It has nothing to do with the rest of the franchise.
Yeah, there's no little girl saying, "You're all going to die."
Yeah, there's Alice character's not there.
There's no what's her name riding her motorcycle.
Yeah.
There's no what's his name? Who I like.
Which one?
The guy. The nice Arab man.
Oh, yeah. I know you're
Oded Fair.
Yes.
Cute Oded Fair does not show up.
No, this is a complete reboot of the franchise.
We're back in Raccoon
I
City.
actually enjoy, even though some of them are not that good, I enjoy the Resident Evil franchise that actually took a turn from the first one being action horror to basically full-on action flicks.
Yes.
By the time it finished its run of 35 films or whatever it was.
Totally.
I'd tell you because they're right there, but I don't have my glasses on to see them.
Where do you see them?
They're over in this area. right here.
Oh yeah, after Purge. So there's
1, 2,
Resident
3,
Evil,
4,
Resident
5,
Evil
6.
Apocalypse.
I believe there's 6,
Retribution,
and then there's
something,
that's an anime
something.
one.
Who knows?
Yeah,
there's a lot.
There's like 5 or 6 live action ones, and then I've been like 3 or 4 of the animated ones that are based more on the animation, CGI animation, like from the game. So now we got this new one,
Raccoon City.
Yeah, that's a reboot of the series.
Okay, so I think we have a little bit of an issue here because we do not agree.
We do not.
I enjoyed the movie. I wasn't expecting it to be like the other movies. It's over the top. There's no Mila Jovovich. Yes. I wasn't expecting that. I knew we were going back to the beginning of the story of when Umbrella started.
They need to go back
their
to the script writing is what they need to do.
So I knew that, and I'm okay. I think the only thing I have a problem with is one of the monster designs. I'm okay with the guy.
At the end?
Yes.
I love that design.
It was dumb.
With the eyeballs and stuff?
Yes.
That is awesome.
This made more sense to me, but
the eyeball thing was awesome.
Okay.
This is our first difference of opinion. That's the only thing I thought was good about this movie.
Okay.
Were the creatures and some of the makeup effects and the designs.
The makeup was great.
Yeah, the makeup effects, the designs of the creatures. That was the only thing.
I guess they're zombie people.
That's pretty much the only thing I did like about this movie.
Wow. Okay.
Here's my problem with this movie. Is the story, I guess, is fine. I don't play the game either, so I'm not connecting it based on the game.
I guess we should get the game.
I reckon no, we should. Now I don't want to see anything about Resident Evil. I don't even know if I can watch the old ones again. No, but I know some of the characters. I know Jill Valentine and all these different characters. And Alice is not in the game, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
These characters, I believe, are all actually in the game.
Yeah.
This movie was just stupid. It
is not stupid.
It's not.
No.
If you're thinking about the game, I thought it was going to kind of go back to that horror element. So not there. I thought we were going to have really heavy action. We do later in the movie, but it takes so long to get there. I stopped caring. The dialogue is stupid. The characters suck.
Oh wow!
Like it's there's nothing in this movie, and it really disappointed me because I was excited to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I enjoyed the old movies, and so I was excited to see it go back to that horror element and maybe get the gruesome fighting and the monsters. I love everything. This movie had everything to be the perfect movie.
Okay.
Except the movie.
There were a lot of good, against zombie people, monsters, whatever you want to call them.
I agree with that stuff.
Lots of good blood and guts.
Decent, yes.
There was some decent shoot 'em ups. It did take a long time to get to the
shoot 'em ups. It's all in the last act. This movie was an hour and 40 minutes.
I will give you that some of the performances were meh. I mean, they weren't really trying.
I think they were.
Okay.
I think they just had a bad script.
Maybe so. Maybe there wasn't enough for them to do. But I think too, they're experiencing something that they've never seen before.
I'll give you that.
And they don't know what's going on.
And nobody seems that. And again, that comes into an issue. Nobody seems overly affected.
The only people that I think were actually really scared was the chief and the rookie.
Yeah, and
they acted like they should. Everybody else was just like, okay.
Here's an issue that I have too, and this happens in these kind of movies sometimes, especially horror flicks. Is I know you can't spend, or if you spend a movie with one character that's completely distraught about everybody being murdered, then everybody complains about, oh my God, they were so annoying. All they did was cry the whole movie. But that would be your reaction most of the time, anger or sadness.
Yeah.
And in this movie, you had the chief, who is this rugged, tough guy at the beginning, and then he just acts like a bitch for the rest of the movie, and acts like he doesn't understand anything in the world all of a sudden, and becomes a buffoon. You have this rookie who you can't figure out how he ever became a cop. Like, he is a useless human being. And then
he's reacted appropriately, though.
But he's like that at the beginning of the movie before anything ever happens. And then you have the issue of the setup altogether makes no sense. Because they've evacuated this city. This is the setup of the movie.
Raccoon City.
Raccoon City has been evacuated because Umbrella Corporation has moved everything out. So they say everybody that has moved out that can afford to. Mm-hmm. The only people left are like the poor people, and then obviously their experiments and all that kind of stuff that's there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like these people are living their lives like they don't know that something weird has happened in this town. And I'm irritated right out the gate. Like, I expected it to be more like, okay, there's this police force that they seem to run more like a military force than a police force.
Yeah, some of their thing was a little confusing.
He's like, go find Bravo team. I'm like, you're the cops. You're not in the military. But had they run it like an actual military unit, then it would have made more sense. of why that group of people is still there. But then you got a lady working at a diner. Hey, this is my diner. Howdy, y'all. And I'm like, how are you running just a normal diner in this dead town?
Oh my gosh.
You know, and it's like one side is supposed to be running this place like it's just a normal podunk town.
Right.
The other side is an abandoned town that only poor people live there, but people have motorcycles and trucks and all this stuff. Like, these people ain't too poor.
Well, they were a police force. They couldn't leave.
Whatever.
I don't know.
The setup was kind of dumb. The acting wasn't that great, and I can even let that go. Had they given us more action, more creatures, but you have to wait until like almost the last half of the act of the movie to really get anything. And when we finally get there,
I was okay.
We finally get there.
I enjoyed it. I will watch it again. I will watch all of them again.
The only way I would watch this movie again is if they make another one, because I'll give it another chance to build and fix what they might have messed up with the first movie. I'm just that kind of person. I don't ever like shut ideas off. But the movie bombed, so I'm pretty sure we're not getting anything continuing on that.
That's too bad.
So maybe this will get somebody else that knows how to make a film will actually make a good one.
Maybe.
But who knows? And I was even excited. One of the guys from Letterkenny is in it, and I was super excited. He was the helicopter pilot.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the main guys, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know he was in this. Oh, this is going to be... He doesn't say a single funny thing in the whole movie.
I'm sorry.
And it was just... I was so bored. I was starting to fall asleep. I was watching my watch. The movie's only an hour and 40 minutes, and they could have cut out about an hour and 10 minutes of the movie, and that 30 minutes would have been that block of the action and the monsters, and it would have been great. When he does do that stuff, it's actually well done. The rest of the movie built around it.
I thought it was fine. I will watch it again. I liked everything except for the last monster. I thought it was too hokey, over the top, and just dumb. It didn't make any sense.
I don't understand why you don't
with
think it
the
makes
design
sense.
of the rest of the mutations. Because
but everybody mutated differently.
I guess.
That's why every monster creature is always different.
But they're all zombies, except for the monsters.
Zombies. They're mutations.
Whatever, they're zombies. Most of the people. But then I'm saying then you do have your monster creatures.
They're most of them aren't zombies. They're mutating into other things. But yeah.
Whatever. I don't know.
And I believe that variation is in the game as well. I liked it. I thought it was dumb. Cool.
But that's okay. I don't know anything about the video game. I'll go with it. I know you had lots of problems. I liked it. I would watch it again.
Yeah, but you like cool as ice, so can we really trust you?
Yes. What? Anyways, check out Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City. It is in theaters.
Or don't.
We saw it with like 4 other people.
Yeah, it didn't. I was disappointed that it didn't do well because like that kind of franchise is one of those that has so much potential that I wish it would find a new life. They probably would have been better off to try to make another one in the other franchise, and it would probably have more success because at least they already created this world, even though it's doesn't always work. They could have done something, or at least brought Alice in at the end of this one to make it like, oh my god, it is connected. You know, it'd have been kind of a fun twist. Because I almost forgot Neil McDonough shows up in this movie, and I could have swore he was in that other franchise. But then I think it's a different blonde-haired guy that's the main bad guy at the end. They look similar,
yeah,
but it's not him.
Oh, well.
Anyway, yeah, it's in theaters. Check it out or don't.
Wow.
Rent the other Resident Evil.
Wow. Okay.
On the plus side, Sony, who put that movie out, I believe, they also have a Resident Evil box set of all the movies on Blu-ray, so you can get that now. All right, what about my turn?
It's your turn, sir.
All right, so this week we have a variety of things. Werewolves Within, I lied, it is not out yet. It comes out this week. That's coming out this week. Cry Macho, the Clint Eastwood movie, is coming out this week. The Karate Kid 3 movie collection is coming to 4K this week. Creep Show Season 2, so I'm very excited for. I hope mine shows up eventually. Also, a couple of them, Rick and Morty Season 4 is coming out on Blu-ray, and they have Blu-ray and this nice steel book, not box, and with an advertisement of 8-Bit Christmas inside it.
Nice.
It's got all the unedited episodes. This show is so great. Also, the 25th anniversary of Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Wow.
Yep. Is coming to Blu-ray for the first time. I watched this today. This movie is so good. I love this stupid movie. And did you know, fun fact, you may already know this because I knew it back then, the 2 main bad guys, if you will, in this movie are played by Bruce Willis and Demi Moore.
They
were still
so
together
funny.
back in the day.
So
and Greg Kinnear does a voice, and Robert Stack. Anyway, what else? Krampus, the Naughty Cut Collector's Edition 4K is coming out.
I like Krampus.
I do too.
So good.
It's kind of a director's cut, I believe, is coming from Shout Factory.
Shout.
And that's pretty much it.
All right. coming out at the theater or on the line. So Tuesday, coming to video demand and digital, a movie called The Scrapper. Not the Scrappers in Arkansas from our friends. No. This is just about a guy who's trying to care for his brother, but in a world of human trafficking, money laundering, all these things are happening around him. Thursday. Oh, no. Skip that. Friday. That was limited to New York. Friday. This Friday, December 10th. Nationwide, a movie called National Champions.
It's got J.K. Simmons again.
It's got J.K. Simmons, Timothy Oliphant, Alexander Ludwig, Stephen James, a bunch of people that you care about. Kristen Chenoweth. Jeffrey Donovan. Nice. Okay, so
it's a football movie.
It's a football movie.
But it's actually, but if I'm not mistaken, it's actually about the draft more than it is the football itself.
Yeah.
So it's a behind the scenes.
Yes, so it's going to be interesting.
It's like that other movie with Kevin Costner.
Okay.
The Draft Day.
Duh. Coming nationwide, being the Ricardos, the story of Lucy and Desi and the TV show.
Yes. We will not only be discussing that movie, we will also be involved in an interview session tomorrow with the cast.
Hope it works out for me. Okay, also coming out nationwide, the new version of West Side Story. This is now the Steven Spielberg version. Basically the modern telling of Romeo and Juliet.
Somebody was telling me that they're referring to this now as West Side Story 2.0. And the people are like, well, you can't remake the classics. He's like, the way I look at it, he goes, it's like if you went to see a revival of a show with a new cast.
That's basically what it is.
So
Rita Moreno's still there.
Yeah, so she's playing a different character.
Correct.
She was the original girl, right?
Yes.
And so now
I want to go watch the original and the new one.
Yeah, there's something about her. I was reading part of an article that said she's doing something that she potentially could do something if she's nominated for an Oscar that no woman's ever done before. And I'm assuming playing multiple roles in the same film and being nominated for the same movie.
Awesome.
That's something like that.
She's cool. Okay, now coming out to Prime Video, the movie we talked about, you'll be able to watch it now. Encounter. If you don't go to the theater, catch it on Prime. This one's an exciting. I know everybody's waiting on this one. Netflix.
Are they excited for this?
Yes. The new Sandra Bullock movie, The Unforgivable. We will be talking about this. I have some interesting opinions on that. Limited Netflix.
No, we're gonna talk about
Back to the Outback. This looks so cute. It's an animated film about a koala and his friends.
It's actually had a bunch of reptiles trying to get back to the Outback, and they team up with a suspicious koala.
Who knows? It looks fun. These are
I really want to see that movie, but I guess
it's limited. Video demand and digital. American Refugee. They're trying to just. I don't know. Society is collapsing. They're trying to figure out how to maintain order.
We have this already.
Okay, cool. Limited. Everything else is limited release. That's pretty much it. So.
All right.
There you go.
All right. So as far as giveaways, do you have that set today?
I do have that set today.
We have a couple of new things thrown up there today.
Organized.
Of course, we still have some copies of the Mad Max Anthology 4K set. Huge Jackman's movie Reminiscence. Donnie Yen's movie Raging Fire, which is awesome. Clint Eastwood's Cry Macho. We got copies of that now to give away. We got copies of the Monkey King Reborn.
There you go.
If you want to try your hands at the world of the Monkey King. And finally, we have copies of Malignant, James Wan's latest horror masterpiece.
There you go. That's it.
That was in no way an acknowledgement of what I think of the film. That was just a sell point.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the movie too.
There's one part I didn't, but we talked about that during our review. So
if you want to know what that is, you need to go back and watch.
Watch our review. So there you go. Go check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com. Find us on Facebook. That's where you can find all the videos. Also, go to YouTube because all the videos are there too.
Some of you are already here, so if you're not at YouTube, go see this other stuff.
Go watch it. Anyways, we're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. Go like, thumbs up, share, send hearts, send stars, send money, whatever.
Money?
Yeah, because if you send stars on Facebook, it's money. Like you can send like $2.
Oh,
send us $2.
Who knew?
I do.
I didn't.
Anyway,
because I don't monetize anything. Somebody asked me the other day if we get paid for this stuff, and I said no. I said
we get
none of our
paid by
sites are
being able to
monetized.
watch movies.
I said, and they were asking me why not, and I'm like, well, part of it because I can't say go to websites that have ads all over it.
Yeah,
it drives me nuts. So that's one reason. The other one is because we don't do this for the money. We do it for the love of the movies and the fun. It's a lot of work. This is a job.
Yeah.
But the perks are getting to see some stuff early. You know, we have 3 screenings coming up, all big major things coming in the next 2 weeks. It's all stuff we can't talk about right away.
Yeah, like we've seen stuff I can't talk about yet.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of these things that we see that drive her nuts because we'll see it like 3 weeks in advance.
Like the movie, the Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, we watched.
We saw that like 3 weeks ago. And I need to tell you what I think because I think some stuff.
Anyway,
which I didn't think I would think, but that's what I'm thinking.
But no, we do this for the fun of it. But the benefit outside of us seeing stuff early and the Blu-rays and stuff like this, the more views we have, the more likes we have, the more followers we have, is they give us stuff to give away.
Correct.
Whether it's just Blu-rays and DVDs, the more stuff you get, they send you all kinds of swag, posters, T-shirts, all the other stuff. So the more you get, the more you get. So
there you go. That's how
the way it works.
Anywho, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Go check out the website, click the contest button. Go find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, not LinkedIn. I don't know. YouTube.
I mean, I think I'm on LinkedIn, but not.
Yeah, no, not for that. I always I throw every social media out. I don't know what else is out there. I don't.
And I'd like to publicly congratulate my wife on her new journey in business.
What's that?
You started a new job.
I started a new job. I'm going to be working from home every day.
And I want to congratulate her. She works really hard.
Thanks, babe.
And I want to publicly thank her and congratulate her.
Well, I want to thank you because you take care of the house. You clean. You do all the cleaning because I work all the time. Anyway.
She just made me sound useless.
No, you handle everything for me. All right, I got to go. Peace be with you.
We got to go cook our food.
We got to go make tacos. Love y'all.